Hi, my name is Peyton Lumberg,
I'm Amanda Novak.
And I'm Kaitlyn Metzgar.
and we are from Oak Ridge High School, Conroe, Texas, Region 6. Our presentation today is about developmental delays. Developmental delays are when children don't, their learning abilities don't develop as quickly as others for various reasons. Cognitive delays, they are delays that affect the way children's brains function, like when they're trying to comprehend certain things. So it can affect a child's intellectual functioning, it can interfere with the child's awareness of things like surroundings, environmental factors, learning difficulties that often become apparent after starting school. So like that's something that you can see, and it's a sign that you can see whenever, and to like realize that this kid has that disability. They also have difficulty communicating and playing with others. So if you can see that the kids don't work well with other kids, this can definitely be a sign for cognitive delays. Lack of curiosity, if the kids just don't seem really interested in what you're trying to tell them, that's usually a sign of cognitive delays. And they have a really short attention span, so that can be a sign as well, meaning that they don't pay attention as well as others.
Some background knowledge and causes. It could be caused from brain injury from previous infections such as meningitis and encephalitis, or it can be caused from shaken baby syndrome, seizure disorders, chromosomal disorders like Down syndrome, and in most cases the cause of delay is unable to identify clearly.
Here are some ways that you can help kids that have cognitive delays. Speech therapy is commonly used to help communication skills. It's good to access the child's strengths rather than their weaknesses, so point out what they're doing right instead of they're wrong. It's also very helpful to follow the child's lead. You can do this by adapting your lessons, repeating instructions multiple times, and making sure you model the correct way they should do the activity. It's also helpful to integrate learning at home to constantly build their brain, which means you have to communicate with the parents, and it's always important to be patient and to stay calm.
Another type of learning delays is motor delays. Motor delays is when children have trouble with things related to motor skills and physical activities. Typically, you can see the signs are that they have difficulty holding on to small objects, so that they'll have like trouble holding on to them. They have trouble doing small tasks such as brushing their teeth, tying their shoes, and writing and coloring. Another sign for motor delays is you'll see them crawling and rolling around in ways that other children don't typically do. Using the stairs, they have trouble getting up the stairs typically, and they may seem clumsier than other children.
Some background knowledge and causes are, here's the possible disorders and diseases that could cause motor delays are achondroplasia, cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, and structural problems. Many motor skills can be resolved with time and work. Some kids develop skills such as walking, riding, or crawling later than others. This leads to a minor motor delay.
Ways to help motor delays are create activities that include sensory objects such as Play-Doh, slime, or putty. You can also create activities that involve dancing or guided movement. It's very important that they work on walking and or movement learning, and it's very good to allow kids to play outside or on the playground because they will work on their motor skills without their knowledge.
Another type of learning delays is social, emotional, and behavioral delays. This type of delay is when children have different ways of like comprehending their emotions, or like their emotions are different from, they handle their emotions in a different way than other kids do. Typically a sign that the child may have these type of delays is usually at the age of 5 they have this delay, or it's more noticeable at this age. And a sign is children don't usually show a wide range of emotions. They also could have the opposite, where they have extreme emotion. They can be unusually fearful, aggressive, shy, or sad. The child is unusually withdrawn and not active as much as the other kids. The child is easily distracted, has trouble focusing on one event for more than 5 minutes, so they have a very short attention span. Child doesn't respond to people, or responds only superficially. child doesn't play a variety of games and activities like the other kids do.
Some background knowledge and causes are social, emotional, and behavior delays stem from cognitive delays such as autism or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or ADHD. So, due to these differences in brain development, they may process information or react to their environment differently than other children of the same age. These delays can have an impact on a child's ability to learn, communicate, and interact with others.
Some ways that you can help children with social, emotional, and behavioral delays is behavioral therapy, which helps them work on control and understanding their emotions and how to deal with them in social scenarios. You can also help by having a set and visual schedule in order for them to understand what time-specific tasks are to be done in order to avoid tantrums and impromptu changes outside of their daily schedules upset them. Here's a source if you would like to know more. Another type of delay are speech delays. Speech delays are when kids have trouble communicating with others, especially compared to kids their age. Some signs and symptoms are difficulty understanding words or concepts. Another sign or symptom are speech production disorders, which means they have an oral motor problem, like weaknesses in the muscles of their mouth or difficulty moving their tongue or jaw. This often interferes with their speech production.
The two types of speech delays you can have is a receptive language disorder or an expressive language disorder. A receptive language disorder are children with this type of speech delay might have trouble identifying colors, body parts, or shapes. And for an expressive language disorder, children with this type of speech delay have reduced vocab of words and complex sentences for his or her age. They may be slow to babble, talk, and create sentences.
The causes of speech delays, there's two different typical causes, either psychological causes or physiological causes, or brain damage that's usually present early in the child's life, genetic syndromes, or hearing loss. Environmental factors, usually if they have a lack of stimulation, they typically will develop a speech delay. Ways you can help: self-talk, which means that when you're teaching when you're teaching something to the kid, you tell them what they're doing as you're teaching it to them. So when you're telling them, well, what are you doing right now? Oh, so right now you're doing this. Or sign language is another good way to help them, because if they can't talk orally, getting them to learn sign language is a good way to help. Parallel talk, which is basically the opposite, where you're telling them what you're doing and they can recognize that or they understand those words go with those actions. Expansions is expanding their thoughts beyond what they are doing, so otherworldly concepts. In many instances, the cause of this child's type of speech delay is unknown. And here's some more sources if you would like to know more.
Thank you for watching our presentation. We hope you really enjoyed it. We had so much fun putting it together. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.